And let's start with Latavius Murray, actually. I know Puna Ford is probably the one people are more excited about, but I find this Latavius Murray draft signing, or not draft signing, free agent signing, very interesting, right? And I think what makes it most interesting to me is that does this pretty much signal the end or any like possible way for Taiwan Jones to come back? I don't know. It seems like they're doubling down on on like bigger running backs, right? I mean, Damian Harris isn't like a bigger running back, but he plays big. It kind of like they doubled down on that kind of skill set. But Latavius Murray is a really solid football player and he's got some pretty good longevity in this league. I thought he was going to fall off a cliff, but he hasn't really done that. I mean, he has taken a step down, but he's not like terrible, right? There's a market for this running back. And what's most interesting for me as a Bills fan is that apparently it was agreed upon between Latavius Murray and the Buffalo Bills, more specifically Brandon Beane, that the Bills would not draft a running back in order for Latavius Murray to sign with the Bills. And that's exactly what happened, which I find so interesting. I don't think I've ever heard Brandon Beane in this company do something like that. And I guess that just kind of shows a good faith from Brandon Beane in this front office like, hey, our word is our bond. If we say we're going to do something, we are going to do something. And this isn't the first time we've seen something like this happen. Think about oh my God, who's that returner that we had that went to Houston? Oh my God.
Andre Roberts.
Andre Roberts. Remember he got cut? He was on the street and we were all freaking out like, "Oh my God, Andre Roberts got cut. Andre Roberts got cut." And then I forgot who we put on IR, but it was just a short-term move. Why don't you just sit out in the parking lot for like a cup of coffee? We're going to sign you back to, 53 here in just a second. But all in all, I find this move very interesting. It I'm excited to have another veteran in the room, but in general, I'm just happy and I'm not sure how to feel at the same time.
Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of points there. For starters, I would say that this probably would be the end of Taiwan Jones, in my opinion. Just with the running backs that you've added and kind of some of these players that they've brought in. Trent Shearfield can be, a gunner. Sharon Neal was already having that role. You
Mhm.
have to think some of these late round draft picks would be looking to make an impact on special teams if they're to stick to the roster. What I think is interesting about the signing of Latavius Murray is he is a little bit older, but he's been productive everywhere he's gone.
Right?
He's going into it's either his age 33 or 34 season.
I think he's
Um,
33.
yeah, and he's been kind of like this, okay, we got a reserve running back role kind of guy. And he's found ways to make impacts on rosters. And
Mhm.
I think with the fact that we didn't draft a running back, I don't think he's going to be this break glass in case of emergency running back on the practice squad. I think there's a chance that we have him dressed for some games and he plays a role in this offense. Um,
Mhm.
at the very least, he got fairly comparable money to what we gave Damian Harris.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just competition and let the best man win, and we'll see what happens with the other guy. But he's a name that came up a ton when we were talking about getting a bigger back before we signed Damian Harris, and just let's not get it twisted. Damian Harris is a little bit more of a thumper than what we're used to, but he's not a big dude by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, there was a
Latavius,
reason why he hung out there in free agency and signed
yeah,
for like change.
yeah, Latavius is like a full fledged like 6'3". Like he's an actual big dude back there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about because he's like 3 or 4 years older than me, and he's like got 3 inches on me, and he's just straight pure muscle. I mean, that's not the worst person you want on your team. I'll say that.